But anyway, guys, welcome. This is a 1v1 between Feage and Project Belgium. Project Belgium jumping in here. He was just watching the stream. He's a T90 sub here. He's a great player. Project Belgium's in the north of the map playing as the Franks. And then in the blue we have Chinese for Feage, who's been playing for a month or two now. He came back to the community. Is an old-time legend. He's known for his lames. And I'm pretty sure he's quite familiar with the Chinese civilization. That's an old-time civ too. Zion main game knowledge, strategy, adapting, all that stuff is way more important than micro. I know that the joke is that Doubt can't micro. He's actually pretty good at it. But Doubt is certainly not as fast as some of the others. The reason Doubt, as an example, is at his level is because of his decisions. So again, we're going to cast this game. I know this might go to YouTube. I think if this ends up going to YouTube, I'll be clipping it up so I can make the video cleaner and more easy to understand. But anyway, we're going to cast this game, and we're going to talk about very specific situations. I'm not a fan, personally, and please don't think that I'm talking down on any other content creators who do this. But I'm not a fan of speaking in generalities. Like, sure, I could talk about the fact that Chinese are a great archer civ and they have a balanced tech tree, and I could spend 2 to 3 minutes talking about that. But while that's good and all, what I want to talk about and what this video series I'm working on currently will address is the complicated stuff. Like, okay, a tower's on your gold right now, and your opponent has a forward archer range. What do you do? And it comes down to very specific things like, should you build farms first before you build your own defensive archery range? Well, that would depend. That would depend, and we're going to talk about that. So I guess we'll look at the maps here. Feage has a pretty solid map to wall off for his golds. He has his second and his third gold in the back. And the main gold could be tough, but if he builds up on this hill and walls to the edge of the map, he makes it a really nice base for himself. Belgium is just passing. And yeah, no villagers will die for Feage. Of course, he has Loom because he's Chinese. But that is good that he was able to connect with that scout there. Belgium's map seems a bit more open. It's a civ that, I mean, assuming he's going scouts, would be at risk with how open this is. But I don't know what strategy he'll go for. I genuinely feel like pros need to figure out Franks a little bit more, because I've been practicing with my initial build, and normally with scouts you'll send 3, maybe 4 to berries like Belgium has done here, but I believe that you can do a 20 population advance to feudal age quite easily, even 19 pop, if you send a few villas to berries earlier, because they have that forage bonus. It's actually quite a big bonus. But he goes up on 21 pop, and yeah, he'll go for scouts here. AoE meta in one sentence. Well, it depends. Well, I think what I'm getting at is it's not necessarily metagame we're talking about. I think metagame is pretty easy. I could say like, oh yeah, Chinese normally go drush flush or straight into archers. Or I guess Chinese is a bad example because they can do everything. But like Franks, they go scouts and take advantage of their 54 HP scouts. That's not what I want to talk about. I see a lot of players that watch this stream. I see a lot of players struggle past the initial build, so past 10 minutes. They're like, okay, I made scouts, but now what do I do? Right? And the truth is it really depends on what you're seeing, so I'm going to try and break that down a little bit more today. So two lumber camps for Feage. Chinese are strong because you have a vill advantage if you have a fast start with them. However, the best build, in my opinion, with Chinese is drush into archers, because you can delay your opponent's scouts, and then you can wall up at home and go straight into archers. And yeah, you'll be up a little bit later, but you're able to buy yourself that time. But he's going for scouts. So advantage Belgium, I'd say, because Belgium has 54 HP scouts. It is awkward for Franks. because you don't want to be going crossbows in the next stage. You want to ideally be going for the knights. It's also awkward for Franks here because Chinese, they get camels, Franks do not. So I really hope this is a close game in Feudal Age, and if they hit Castle Age around the same time, then I'll talk about what Franks should do in this situation.
Force nothing.
What civ do you think sucks the most, or are all civs good? Well, there are civs which are pretty awkward. It depends on the situation you're talking about. This is great for Belgium. This is great. In 1v1s, I'd say Khmer are really tough right now. That's probably at the top of the list for awkward civs. They're strong in late game, but it's hard to get there in 1v1s. Grey Llama and Mahdi, thank you guys for the primes. Kumar, thank you for 6, man. So, pretty much all because of the extra scout HP that Belgium starts with, and also because of the engagements he's taken versus Feage. Decent micro for him here. He's on the front foot here. He has a small advantage, but he does need to be careful. He's probably tempted to turn around and hit this scout from Feage. He needs to be careful because he does have low HP scouts. And, okay, that's a good engagement. Yeah. But Feage's spear is buying him a little bit of time. So, a forward spear for Belgium. And, again, his map is a little bit exposed. I'm surprised he's not walling up at all. Feage will slowly house wall his base. And, as I said, he'll wall to the edge of the map. So this gold will be secured and these golds will be secured. This is a really strong map for scouts into archers. But this is where the decision making comes in, and ooh, Feage, oh, he's going to lose this villager. Nice job from Belgium to pick this off. Like, now you really need to think if you're Feage, because to build an archer range, it's 175 wood. That's the cost of 3 farms essentially. So if you do transition into archers, you're going to have military before your opponent can get to knights. That could snowball on him, but if you add extra farms, you'll have a faster castle age and can get to your camels. So I really think here, Feage is already behind in scout numbers. I really think that what Feage should do is, instead of add the archer ranges, is consider going for the extra farms. But it's very specific stuff. Like, this is so good for Belgium because he's not being pressured at all at the moment. And so he's able to get away with just a few defensive spears. The reason the archer transition could be strong for Feage is because you have a few archers to pick off the spears, and then your scouts can clean up the rest. Well, let's see. He's coming forward now. One spear. And another scout. Nice shot from Belgium. That's so good from Belgium. He intentionally focused down the weak scout, and he had his spear there. And he was actually coming back home, and now he's going to run forward yet again. Franks, man. Franks are really strong. Another pick off. And Feage is full walled, so that's good for him. So yeah, again, I'm kind of surprised Feage tried to go for scouts. Because scouts, it takes so much time to build them up. He was behind in the uptime, which is the norm as Chinese. So I'm surprised he went for scouts. I think going scouts was him accepting he was going to be behind immediately. But it's all about eco now. And Belgium... Oh, what? I was not expecting this. This is really weird, actually. It could be good, it could be bad. This would be fun to talk about. Belgium's adding archer ranges, and not just one, he's adding 2. The Feage scouting this is so important, guys. It's so important. And Belgium, he'll scout that there's no archer ranges for Feage. So, Feage kind of knows what's coming. He'll try and think of a way to react to this. And Belgium, what's he see here? He sees an archer range as well. Okay. Huh. See, I'm totally fine with the archer range, but 2 of them is quite an investment. Because you could go with just a few crossbows. Perhaps he's expecting the camels from Feage. And yeah, Feage will just match him with 2 archery ranges. Maybe he went China scouts because you'd normally expect archers. Well, I mean, that's the thing, Varian. At this level, there's no surprises, really. Like, all you'd have to do is send your scout in to see what their build was like. So sure, like, maybe if he hid the stable, if he had full walled at that point and hid the stable, maybe then he could have gone for the surprise. But Belgium knew what was coming, right? Pretty aggressive game. You know, we have 4 military buildings for Belgium. It will be 5 for Feage. And I mean, we could see Chinese go into crossbow and then cav archers, right? So, I was just talking about seeing things and how important that is. All that Belgium sees is 1 archery range, so I don't think he'll expect the amount of archers that are going to be coming forward. I think the fact that Feage is Chinese here really helps him. He's slightly behind, in my opinion. However, it helps him because he is more available with his tech tree. So if you're Franks, the best way to deal with the camels of Chinese is to go for some archers, but those archers you can't really use much in the next stage. So I really think what Belgium needs to try and do here, and I'm going to say around like the 28, 29 minute mark, he needs to be on stone. And if he is able to take advantage with a fight, he can then abuse his cheaper castles and slowly push forward. Because if it is a 50-50 engagement in Castle Age, Feage is going to have a pretty big advantage. What's your most disliked changes from AOC to World Kingdoms? I mean, besides the fact that Koreans are so overpowered. I mean, honestly, I really like the meta nowadays. The meta nowadays is much more aggressive. You would never see in AOC 3 archer ranges in a stable. You just never see it. So I do like the fact that there's more power spikes now. Can make the game more difficult to play, but I like it, and I think it's more enjoyable. Perhaps the one thing my one complaint about the expansions is that some civs got way too many bonuses. Like Burmese and Malians are good examples. There's no reason that a civ like Burmese should have all the bonuses that they have. It should have been spread amongst other civs, I think, but that can always be changed. So, to go for 3 archer ranges and a stable is very expensive, and they're going for TCs. So, Feage is actually opting for the best option, in my opinion. He's going more for military, less for eco. So, he's on 2 TCs at the moment, and it's 3 for Belgium. Which, honestly, just might be the play for his civ. I think that if he's going to win this, he needs to have more economy, because it's so hard to deal with the Chinese options. Yes. But Feage is getting ballistics now, and he benefits from thumb ring, and he can go for arbalest later on. So it's not ideal for Belgium. But the economy is getting stronger for him, and he definitely can get to the point where, oh, this is good. Oh, he's going to get a vill pick or 2. 2 villagers. Yeah, now he can just run away. He'll get to the point where he could start flooding knights. He just can't really do that right now with so many town centers. Have you ever showed your setup somewhere? Matt, if you're talking about my my equipment, you can. There's a post on my Instagram where I'm looking at my new PC and it has trees on the background. I have all my specs there. I don't have it below the stream. So this is the time for Feage, who's invested into military early, to take a fight. So this is more difficult to know when you're playing the game, right? But these guys are experienced enough to know the situation. Belgium knows that he added eco earlier than his opponent, so he should have a few more villagers. But now he's going to potentially be overrun. He's not that far behind in military, but the correct move would be to add a Maginot. And that's what he's going for. And Feage, not taking the best fight there. His numbers were split up to try and trap his opponent. This is really good for Belgium. The fight is good because they're on equal numbers. And he has that extra eco. But again, it's going to be awkward for him. The Feage still is on 3 ranges. Feage is now going to stone, so maybe some castles in the future from him. It's almost impossible to say right now what Belgium should be doing composition-wise in the Imperial Age. He's done a great job so far. I think he needs to go for knights. I mean, these engagements are so good because he doesn't get access to Thumb Ring, so he needs to make sure he's not overwhelmed with numbers. His engagements are super good. Now, I did say 28, 29 minute mark you should go to stone, so he's on stone now. And this is the point of the game where players are going to try and shore up their defenses and look towards the Imperial Age. So I think... I mean, normally I would say with Franks in this situation, you'd want to get Castle Age momentum. I don't think that's possible now. I still think Belgium, he needs to hold his eco lead. So I think with the stone you're collecting, you build a castle to protect your exposed resources. And this would be a really important side to castle. And Feage, he's going to... They're both going into knights. So this is, again, the point of the game where they can mix it up a little bit. But the decision is, how much do you make? And, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Belgium, he could be in trouble. Feage is going to hop out of the Siege Workshop. And this could change the entire game, but Feage's shot was not the best. Oh my god. That was so good for Belgium. It could have been so much worse for him. Still, it's not going to be easy. But, you know, his Maginot fires. And yeah, now he needs to run back anyhow. That could have been so much worse for him. There's kind of a mix of Feage making a mistake with the shot. And Belgium getting lucky, but... Feage with Thumb Ring crossbows. Now he's adding a few knights. He's trying to get that map control. And Belgium, he's thinking about the same thing. Perhaps it was not the time to take a fight. But he is going into chain barding armor, so... Frank Knights are very strong. He needs them now. Feage loves to micro. He absolutely loves to micro. Look at this split micro from him. You know, like, probably a little bit too much, but it worked out. And this is why Belgium needed those castles up. Maybe he went a little bit too late. The timing of the stables could have been late. The timing of going to stone could have been late. I mean, it's easier said than done, right? But Chinese are always going to have an advantage in this civ matchup in Castle Age because of their options. So Feage has a decision to make now. Feage, he could try and solidify his position with some castles. He's aware that the gold and the stone is here. Or he could just play aggressive on the front, and he could shore up his defenses at home. We'll see what he goes for. These crossbows have full upgrades, but they are surrounded by knights with full defense upgrades. And I think this is a fight that Belgium can take, and Belgium can win. Here come the camels. Feage has done the right thing. He's run away with his crossbows. Is waiting for his camels to arrive. Yeah, in the end, I think Feage will just hold on to this because of the camels. But then again, you know, his camels will die to the crossbows from Belgium. So what a game! What a game here! I think Feage will build his castle either on... Oh, that was a mistake. On this hill or on this hill. And Belgium will build his castle here and or here. And that was a pretty big investment, late Castle Age for both. But if you invest too much and you run into your opponent's castle... you're then in big trouble, right? They'll probably hit him before you. And if you invest too little, you can get slightly overrun, like what happened to Belgium there. It's a really nice game. But it's a much better situation for Feage now. Oh man, Belgium is housed at the moment. I think Belgium needs to push now. He needs to have a little bit more momentum than Feage because of how awkward it is for him in the civ matchup. And he really can't. He really can't. Maybe utilize his mobility a little bit with the knights and hit from the sides, but I expect another castle to go for Feage on that hill sooner or later. And Feage has secured that gold. So honestly, guys, if Belgium would have had a castle here earlier, if he would have had enough to defend from that, maybe just 5 to 6 more knights, this whole game could have played out differently. Because then this castle would have never gone up because Feage wouldn't have had any army control. And if this castle never went up, Belgium could have built his here and he could have that map control. But he doesn't. He's building more castles. But, you know, his eco balance seems a bit off now. He's lacking the gold to click up. And Feage has a pretty big lead. So, the reason Franks struggle here is they really don't have much to do with Elite Chukunu. And there's a lot of civs that struggle versus Elite Chukunu, actually. But the Cavalier, they'll get chewed up by Elite Chukunu with full upgrades. The hand cannons, the infantry that Franks can make get chewed up. You can think about Onager or Bombard Cannon, but even then, Chukunus, they can kill siege pretty fast. And you could then think about going Elite Skirm, but Franks lack Bracer, and Chinese get full upgrades on their light cav. So, the game was one. I think Feage will win this game. I could be wrong. The reason Feage has an advantage was because that engagement there in Castle Age. And that changed how the rest of the game will play out. It's kind of why I was surprised that Belgium went 2 ranges. I thought that he would invest more into knights. Because when you go into the ranges, and his engagements were good, right? You're still investing into a unit comp that you won't have as your ideal unit comp later on. But it's really tough. It's really tough to say. But he has bought himself some time here with the castles. Feage has 2 on this hill. He's Arbalest now, and he'll start trebbing. So one thing Belgium will have now is mobility. So it's that mobility versus snowball situation I like to touch on a lot. Feage doesn't have a lot of speed. Actually wants to go heavy camel as well. That's a pretty big investment. So he'll have a little bit of speed, but
1890, been a while. Good to be back.
How are you? You kind of want to unravel your opponent's control in this situation. I guess that's the way to say it. The best way to do that is to hit from the sides. And I saw Belgium has researched light cav, so he's going to hope he can pick off vills here. And you know, as the game goes on, Feage will run out of his main gold, and he'll want these extra resources. Something both players are missing out on scouting there. Also, relics are always important. One relic for both players. And yeah, see, this additional gold Belgium has already found, so that's good for him. Also has the relic there, which he'll collect. And Cavalier's about to complete. But Feage has taken down 1 castle. He's working on taking out another. Belgium, he needs numbers. He needs a lot of numbers. And I did say that Frank's skirms are no bueno. However, I think the only composition you can try for here would be... yeah, probably Paladin Skirmisher is your best play. I mean, you could go for Bombard Cannons, of course, but it's going to be tough. So I just wonder if he can catch Feage out. If Feage loses any momentum, it could be game over for him. Like, if he were to lose his Trebs, for example, that would stop the push, and then Feage could get raided by the Cavalier in his base. Yeah, and okay, there's a castle for Feage. He sees the stables going up. Not happy about that.
2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood. Keep up the amazing work, T90.
The reason I say Paladin Skirm, and that's not something that you can justify doing together right now because of how expensive Paladin is, but the reason I say that is because it's a ranged and melee combo. Like, you have heavy camel as melee for Feage, and then Chukunu as the ranged, right? So it's a similar combo. Onager, they just get killed by camels in this situation. And it's a huge expense as well. Belgium needs one good fight, and it's got to be with Paladin. And he's lost his 3rd castle now. He's building another one over here. He does have resources, honestly, but he can't seem to get a foothold on this just yet. Yeah, Habis Bombard Tower would be so good. So as Feage is playing this, I wish I could pause. As he's playing this, he's pushing forward. He's also making sure he's not vulnerable on the sides, right? And this is so big because you could easily lose 20 to 30 villagers if your opponent were to send Light Cav in. And he doesn't have the mobility to really chase it. So as Belgium gets Chivalry, so his stables will work faster. I really like that upgrade. He's looking for a fight. And I mean, hey, the Arbs have full upgrades, but it's not Elite Chukunu yet. And Paladin completes, and there's not enough camels there. So just patrol in and stop the push once, and he will. The Arbalest will get chewed up. This is just as Feage is coming forward to build the Bombard Towers, and Feage will lose everything. The strength of the Paladins have worked out. Now, Belgium, like, what we're seeing, what we can obviously understand is that Belgium is winning this fight, but it's still not going to be easy for him to fund more Paladins, so he needs to take other advantages, as I said. So he needs to take this gold away from Feage, which Feage has now gotten from him. He needs to maybe push the castles, maybe hit the wood lines or something, right? And here comes a Treb, so he will start pushing the castles back. And he also got, he must have, did he ring the bell or something? He has a lot of idle villagers here. Interesting. Also, he's adding barracks, which I guess is for, he wants to go Halberdier. But I don't know about that. I really don't like the decision to go Halbs when your opponent can go Chukunu. But Feage has to repair his castle. That's a good fight for Feage. That's a very good fight. He lacked the camel numbers the first time around. But yeah, this is what I said. See, now Belgium's moving out to the gold. Now Belgium's raiding the wood lines. Like, it's really good play from him. And honestly, both players lost a ton of population. Like, they both lost lots of army. They both lost lots of villagers. Though Belgium has a pretty big eco lead. Alright, Belgium will build a castle so we can secure this gold. And he's going to get that castle up. Light Cav is raiding Feage's eco. And yeah, it's distracting Feage from pushing forward because he needs numbers in his base instead of at Belgium's base. And yeah, now Halb's on the way. This is interesting. See, now maybe if you could afford it, this would be the place for like full Halberdier Onager Bombard Cannon style. Halbs in front to chew up the camels, and then the Onagers and Bombard Cannons could kill ranged units. There's not a lot of ranged units out there for Feage right now anyway. And Belgium's doing such a good job with the raids, guys. Such a good job with the raids. Killing countless villagers, idling villagers. Really good stuff from him, man. He's also getting raided as we speak, though. But he has 40 extra vills. It was a lot more costly for Belgium to invest into Paladin, though. Rarely will you see someone invest into Paladin and be able to keep it up, which is why he's going into Halbs and Light Cav. But guys, he is going to build an additional castle here. He will get this gold. And is there a relic here? No, there's not. All the relics have been collected. Okay, as he builds this castle, this one's going down, and he has Axemen here, and he has full upgrades on the Axemen in a bit. Not elite, but because he has +4, he might kill the Trebs. That Treb will... Oh my god, buzzer beater, Kobe'd that one. That Treb goes down. That's so annoying for Feage. Man, so annoying. He does not have a lot in the bank. And Feage, as he kills villagers in this wood line, He's still 30 vills behind, and he just can't keep up with Belgium. So Belgium goes to the left. Feage has to address it. Belgium's now going to the right. Feage has to address this. Feage lost a castle. And if Belgium's able to repair this Treb, which he is, I don't even think that will go down. Really good engagements for Belgium, and Feage is just chasing. So this isn't so much about compositions, it's just play style. Because remember I said, once Belgium won that fight, that's not enough. If it was just one single fight, he would still be losing. But he took that time to start unraveling his opponent, distracting his opponent, and it's really working well. This is not something that you can do at all levels, of course. These guys will do it best, but... Silver in the chat said, Silver said, I hate it when I win a fight and someone sends 30 light Kevin in my base. So look at it with that logic. Look at it as... do anything that annoys the crap out of you as a player to your opponent, right? Just keep in mind, they will need to chase that. They'll need to change their gather points, their rally points for their military, and it's just really tough for them to keep up with. Feage is still losing vills. He's losing a lot of vills. You know, his base was good at the start because he had his golds and his wood back here, but he's losing it, and he has to expand, and his opponent's not letting him. But Chukanu, that will kill Light Cav, and that will kill Halberdier. And that's really what I expected from Feage. I'm surprised he made so many camels in this game. And I think if he goes Chukanu Halb, it then gets tough for Belgium. So Belgium lost one Treb, and he will lose this Treb at... No, the Treb will probably run away in time. So wasn't enough from Belgium. Was it enough? Because he doesn't have the military numbers he needs. He doesn't have the composition he needs. He's getting harassed here, and here comes the push from Feage yet again. I say that as Belgium is pushing on the left, Feage needs to react to this. And they both have really weak economies, and here we go. The bombard towers that were denied here will now just be placed here. Belgium has like 30-40 villagers in this area. He's losing his farmers. He needs wood. That's the biggest resource. But he's doing a great job at creating villagers as he loses them. And that's something Feage struggled with. And he's still losing them. Will the castle stay up though? This could be a game deciding move. And it will stay up. Look, he's running out of stone. But the light cav come in at just the right moment. And the castle will be saved. And Belgium, he's forced to go back into Paladin. Feage has Halberdier Chukanu. This is a composition that is almost unstoppable once it gets rolling. So, honestly, maybe you just avoid this fight. You go into the eco of Feage yet again. And this time do it with Paladins. Because I don't think you can fight this. At the very least, still try and raid with Light Cav where you can, right? Populations are dead even. And Feage, see the issue is, Feage doesn't have the economy, guys. Feage has had so much idle time, he doesn't have the vills. He doesn't have the economy to add more military if he loses it. But his Light Cav arrived to Belgium, and Belgium realizes he'll lose villagers, and he calls it. So, it was actually a really fun game to cast and talk about. I think that the Castle Age engagement with the crossbows and the knights and the camels, you remember that right here? That changed how this game was played out. Belgium was so successful with his raids despite Feage getting this hill. So imagine how it would have played out if Belgium would have taken a wiser engagement there, probably put his foot in the gas a little bit more, and then he would have had the castle in the front. That could have changed so much. There was a gold there. It would have given Project Belgium an avenue to run his units up the middle, and then it would have strengthened his pushes on the sides. Cool game, though. Cool game. I honestly don't know if there's a difference in my casting here. For those that have joined the stream over the past hour, I've only been live for an hour, so what's up, guys? Just trying to cast today more instructionally. talk about why or why not things should be done. And I think the most important thing that you guys can learn from as spectators or players is the game sense thing. It's beyond the unit compositions, but what you should do with your position and your situation. So that's what I'm trying to talk about. Do you play to get more game knowledge to cast better, or do you cast to get more game knowledge to play better? I do believe that casting, because I'm watching experts, right? I do think that casting really helped me. But if anything, my gameplay has helped my casting. When I was 1600 Vubli,
Sup T90 in chat.
when I was 1600 Vubli, I don't think anybody clipped it, but I could be quoted as saying that I had the game knowledge, I just didn't have the skill. And I'm here to tell you guys that if anyone says that, it's a bunch of baloney, right? Like I'm a pretty skilled RTS gamer, but I did not have the knowledge needed at the time. I did not gain any skill game-wise to get to 2K. It was just simply game knowledge, right? So I don't know, like casting helps because I'm analyzing the game, and then when I play, I kind of remember how pros would address it, but I put in a lot of hours offline. I don't stream my gameplay too much.